and welcome to the Hall Prison Universe. I'm King HP, also known as Father, and today we're going to talk about Hawkeye Episode 4. It's going to have a mid-season review kind of feel to it, but it's still going to be a breakdown and a predictions, what we're expected to see, and who's who in the zoo when it comes to the Hawkeye series. And we also want to talk about our giveaway. We'll be giving away a Stormbreaker, life-size Stormbreaker away. Now, those details on how you can enter will be at the end of this video. So if you're interested, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into those details. But right now, let's kick off and talk about Hawkeye. All right, so episode 4. Episode 4 is a major episode, right? It ended on a little cliffhanger. We had Jack Duquesne with the Ronin sword at Hawkeye's throat. And we've watched Hawkeye and relationships, well, Hawkeye and Kate's relationship blossom and blossom. Well, now it's almost like, she is actually learning from Hawkeye. And we see that in this episode. So awesome. But it was left on a cliffhanger, right? We still got a couple questions. Eleanor, Kate's mom, what is she doing, right? So let's talk about a couple of those things, right? So the episode starts off with right where the last one left off, right? So if you haven't been watching, Hawkeye, it takes place around the Christmas season. Hawkeye's trying to get to his family. The Ronin suit comes into play. How does it come into play? Underground auction, the Duquesnes and Eleanor, some mystique with these families. All right, we're learning about Eleanor Bishop, Kate Bishop's mom, and the security system business that they run, and it's very extensive. They can get information well beyond typical. I mean, it's like Ring multiplied like by 100, right? So they got camera and surveillance all over the city of New York. So with that being said, they're marrying up what appears to be wealthy. We saw that underground auction. We saw the prices that we're talking about, right? And the amount of money. So we know all these people are substantial. We just don't know who's who in the zoo. So piecing that together. When the episode kicks off, we got Jack Duquesne. He's the swordsman. That's who he represents. This is a Hawkeye foe. But we don't really know. Is he good or bad? I mean, let's start to draw lines in the sand, right? Being he looks shady, Kate is investigating him this whole series. She's looking into more shady things. After Armand Duquesne was murdered, right, we see more suspicious activity where Kate really feels Jack is behind this. But I'm starting to question that, right? For a lot of reasons. One, it's like Marvel's leading you down this road, right? Marvel wants you to think this, and then bam, they're gonna hit a sharp right. And a couple things. Episode 4 kind of points a few of these things out. Eleanor Bishop, right? When they realize they have an Avenger in the house, it's Eleanor who does. Jack Duquesne's like, oh. Archer, right? He calls him Archer, right? How much information does this guy know, right? He's constantly using slogans, common American phrases, things from movie. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But he says life is short and you never know what you're going to get. And they laugh at it, because they tell him his euphemisms are wrong. But I feel like it's part of a play. Like he's playing the well-groomed actor who doesn't know. And I think he's doing that on purpose to not lead people into his persona. When we saw the fencing between Kate, who was a 2-time state champ, so she's got some skills, he disarmed her like it was nothing. Hawkeye, an Avenger. I mean, he was running missions for Nick Fury, which is how we met Natasha Romanoff, right? He hurts people. He was kind of like a spy, just wasn't the best. Does like a lot of black ops missions for S.H.I.E.L.D. essentially, seemingly beforehand, right? Man, Jack Duquesne got the drop on him, didn't he? And had the Ronin sword to his neck. So after they let him off the hook, right, they're having a nice little family sit down. You got Kate, and I love the cinematography of this, right, because you got Jack and his wife on one side, which I don't know who's the brains of the operation here. And then you have Kate and Hawkeye on the other, or Clint or CB1, and she's still working through his branding, right? She thinks Hawkeye could have better branding, more people would know him, it'd be better for him, and Hawkeye wants none of it, right? Look at his character throughout the movies, and he's always kind of wanted to go into retirement. Remember Age of Ultron? We kind of saw into his family life, he wanted retirement. So, with that being said, Eleanor, gets to have a private conversation with Hawkeye as she sees him out because basically she's the concerned parent. Kate is her daughter. But she brings up Natasha Romanoff. Kind of strikes a nerve with Hawkeye, right? And it's kind of crazy because how much information does she have? And how does she know that? Which then brings us to Endgame, right? Let's go back a little bit to Endgame. Ronin, where was that at? Where was he killing? Where did Natasha find him and bring him back at? Because he unmasked himself. Now let's go a little bit deeper, right? The Black Widow movie, end credit scene. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Gotta do that. But Hawkeye unmasked himself. And Madame Allegra Fontaine, okay, got it. She has the picture of Hawkeye as she's showing to Black Widow's sister, and it's him unmasked as Ronin. So how does that kind of play a part? Here's our early prediction. Let's just get this out the way early, right? Does Yelena Belova still have that Hawkeye picture? Because that's going to be key, right? If she has that Hawkeye picture.
I've got your next target. Thought I'd hand deliver it. Maybe you'd like a shot at the man responsible for your sister's death.
That's Hawkeye as Ronin. Right now, Echo thinks that Kate Bishop is Ronin, right? Tracksuit Mafia is pursuing Ronin, which they now believe to be Kate Bishop. There's a bigger fish in that hierarchy of power the Tracksuit Mafia has. And they keep saying he, the big guy, he don't like attention drawn to him. But we know Echo's dad was killed by Hawkeye. Or so we're led to believe from the fight scene, I think it was episode 3. Which was pretty cool because it's a different twist than what Kate Bishop, her dad was killed with the attack on New York, and she saw Hawkeye saving the day. Hawkeye actually saved her with an arrow to some Chitauri soldiers, right? So we have these interesting dynamics that are still laid out that I don't know if we're looking at. Does Yelena Belova have the picture of Hawkeye as Ronin that was told to her by Madame Allegra Fontaine? Does she have that? Because if she does, we end up seeing later in the episode a fight scene where I think episode 5, episode 6, this will play out. So let's get back into this. You have Eleanor Bishop bringing up Black Widow. Strikes the nerve with Hawkeye. They move past that. But it's almost like she's pulling a Natasha Romanoff, right? Like she was getting, Clint, you have kids? And she goes to talk about how she can't lose her daughter. And I think that was her pulling information. Now going back to the security cameras and surveillance. Later in the episode, we're going to see in Echo's apartment. They're looking for a watch. But beside the watch, we don't know the ins and outs of this watch. I actually thought it was one of the watches that they were using from the time heist. Cornet, man, right? The time heist from Endgame. Doesn't appear that way. This watch has a significant other meaning, and it might be linking Hawkeye to his family, and that's bad news because Hawkeye's wife brings it up. So let's just keep that there. When Kate's in that apartment looking around and her and Hawkeye there, she sets off an alarm. Okay, cool. Which it's a silent alarm for those that are deaf. So it's a visual, right? Because they can't figure out the strobe light. She hits it with the purple paste, right? But there's that list of Hawkeye's family names, and I think it had ages on it, right? Where did Echo, because the Tracksuit Mafia doesn't seem that educated or that intellectual to get that type of information. They kind of seem like the buffoons. They kind of use muscle a little bit, muscle and numbers to kind of defeat their opponents. Not intellectuals setting traps or whatever, right? Doing research and surveillance. That doesn't seem like their forte. So where does Echo get this information, right? Now, after Hawkeye leaves that apartment, and the apartment we're talking about is with Eleanor from early in the episode, Eleanor calls someone who we don't know and says it's urgent. Later in the episode, we get a reveal, right? Major reveal. One of the ones we've been waiting on, right? We kind of knew it was coming because we saw Black Widow, and it's Yelena Belova, right? Good scene, great fight scene. If you haven't seen episode 4, I highly recommend you get on it. I seen something saying that Hawkeye is the lowest rated Disney Plus Marvel show. Hawkeye is one of the better ones. I mean, the whole series hasn't finished, but you had WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, and now Hawkeye, right? That's 5 of them things. And we still have 2 episodes left. So, with that being said, right, we get this crazy fight scene. Mask assailant with Hawkeye as Hawkeye was looking out for Kate. And it was leading to this, right? There's a couple fight scenes that we have to still get. But this is one of the ones we've been waiting for since Black Widow. Yelena Belova is revealed as this masked assailant. She's using Black Widow. Not Black Widow the person, but the Black Widow like technology, right? Because we found out in Black Widow that there was Black Widows. So she's got this technology going. She's locking it down. She's holding it down. Echo is fighting Kate Bishop. Now that we've seen that, I don't think we're going to see that again. But here's some twists and kickers, right? Everybody seems to be getting off. Everybody seems to have a highlight run where they got some good offense, but they really want to highlight Yelena Belova, right? We're going to see more of her, probably episode 5 a lot, and then in 6. And I say that to say this. Kate gets dismissed by Hawkeye when this is over, right? Hawkeye was like, "You gotta go. It's too much," right? Because he has a flashback. He goes to catch her off the side of the building. No.
Pull me up! Get out of here.
Very reminiscent of the Black Widow fall in Endgame. And there's constant references in this episode to Black Widow. So, it's almost like a PTSD moment for Clint. Yelena gets away. Echo essentially gets away. Kate is going to be lost in the sauce without Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye gets captured. And I think there's a reason for it. Because Yelena is now hunting him. Yelena, if she has this picture, Echo is probably going to be wondering the same thing. Who is that stopped me from killing Ronin? Because Echo believes Kate Bishop is Ronin. We all know that to not be true, right? But Echo doesn't know that yet. The enemy of thy enemy is thy friend. If Yelena and Echo get together, she says, "I'm looking for Hawkeye." And she shows in a picture that she has, not knowing Echo's looking for Ronin, right? Now they have common cause. Now we got to get battled because Yelena is looking for who killed her sister, Hawkeye. Echo is looking for who killed her dad, Ronin. These are one and the same. Now, what did episode 4 also establish? Also established a really good relationship with Kate and Hawkeye. Okay, cool. But when she figures out Hawkeye is Ronin at that apartment during the holiday cheer, right? She doesn't see him as a monster. She's like, yo, everyone has their mistakes, blah, blah, blah. She has a bond to him. She has been envying this man since a kid when he saved her in their New York City skyrise. Okay? So now, who's going to have to save him? Is Kate Bishop going to be enough to stop Echo, right? Who is basically what Taskmaster should have been. Because she can literally echo. She watches. You saw her in a karate class in the early episodes. She can mimic you, which was Taskmaster, but we ain't going to do all that. All right? Everybody's entitled to a mistake. Taskmaster came off wrong. So, with that being said, I don't feel like this is the final battle they're setting up. Swordsman, right? Jack Duquesne, we haven't seen him in a fight with Hawkeye yet. In the comics, right, you get the Swordsman as this guy who teaches swordsmanship to Hawkeye, and we haven't really seen much interaction. We got to see this fight. And what is Eleanor Bishop's real tie? Can she fight? Can she get down? If not, maybe she has the resources to. Now, I think this leads into episode 5. We see more Yelena Belova getting affiliated with Echo. They're going to pursue. Kate will get involved. I think the swordsman gets involved, right? Jack Duquesne. And this is why I think he's being pinned for the body of Armand. because it's so easy to assume him. The sword in the back, and it's easy. This guy doesn't seem to know nothing, but maybe he's just an anti-hero type of character, and that's how they're going to use him. Maybe, because the real villain is Eleanor. Let's just throw that out there. She's making private calls. It's urgent. Soon as Hawkeye left, it's urgent. Okay. And guess who shows up later, right? Maybe she's calling Madame Fontaine, Allegra, Ayada, right? And maybe that's the, or maybe she calls whoever this head person is in charge. This person, I feel like they'll make their debut in episode 6. And that person is Kingpin. Oh, yeah, you got to give us the Kingpin. We already know Echo's getting a series leading to Daredevil, right? They did some nice Daredevil references throughout the series so far, and we're going to continue to get them. I don't feel like Daredevil makes any presence in this series, but Kingpin does. References to Daredevil. Hawkeye falls back. Kate Bishop takes the mantle. Swordsman, he's just a henchman. He's just a henchman, I feel like, for Kingpin, but he's not like bad. He's just like, almost like a mercenary type. I take money, I do a job. That's it, bro. But I feel like Eleanor, power broker status. She only answers to Kingpin. She can make a lot of calls on her own. I think she's, even though it said Jack Duquesne was like the CEO of the company that was laundering for the tracksuits, I feel like it's more to it. I feel like it's someone more calling the shots. Jack is just a figure face, but not really a bad guy. I feel like it'll help Hawkeye. I feel like episode 6, it's going to be a war versus Kingpin, and they may be losing. And the war may not be physical. I would love to see a fight. But it's going to be weird if you first introduce him and he's fighting, but we've seen that with Thanos. Well, he wasn't first introduced in Infinity War, but when we first got to see him in all his full, grandeur, man, he let the Hulk have it. And we knew not to mess with him. So anyway, Hawkeye, phenomenal show, sets up a lot of the low tier, mid, the Earth tier people. Kingpin, I feel like it's coming. Daredevil, I feel like it's coming. So Marvel is setting up these tiers, and Hawkeye is walking us through these tiers, literally introducing us to worlds and worlds of people with some potential spinoffs. We know Echo's got hers, so that's one. Kingpin's coming. I feel like you got to introduce him here. Who is the uncle, right? I mean, it just makes the most sense. The person, it just makes the most sense. And then do we get a Daredevil series? And then from there, does that introduce the Luke Cages or the Punishers? Do they tie some of this in with Spider-Man? If you haven't got your tickets, go ahead and get your tickets. December 17th, Spider-Man is in theaters. We are definitely going to do a spoiler review and a non-spoiler review. So if you're thinking about seeing it, boom, we got you on both sides of the fence. All right? So, again, Hawkeye, amazing series. Definitely get into it. Matt Fraction, one from the Hawkeye, is typically where most of this information comes from. But let's get into this giveaway, okay? As we just concluded with this stuff about the Hawkeye, let's get into the giveaway. So, we're giving away Stormbreaker. Random drawing. All you have to do to enter, right? Because people might think, how do you enter? How do you enter? First, we got to get to 2,000 subscribers. 2,000 subscribers. We are moving there. Currently, as of this video, we're at 1,700. So we are moving in that direction. So if you know people who are into Marvel, get them to come to the channel, drop a share, hit the share button, share it to your Instagram, share it to your Facebook, your social media platforms. Let's get people into the Hall Prison universe, because at the end of the day, when we can develop these conversations, we can have greater and greater conversations. We're already looking at having guests. Ace, shout out Ace, that's my man. But we're looking at having guests. Kiara will be back. He'll be in episodes too. So that's the thing. Now, 2,000 subscribers. That will automatically be the drawing, right, for Stormbreaker. So how do you actually enter? One, you got to be a subscriber. Got to be a subscriber. Can't have random people just dipping in and dipping out and we're giving away stuff. Got to be a subscriber. Show the support. You support, we're going to support you back. We're going to get some stuff out there. That's the first thing. 2, liking videos. and 3 is a comment. So make sure you do those 3 things that will automatically enter you into the contest drawing. Easy day. Remember, this is free. I will ship it to you. Remember, share and get it out there. Get this page out to social medias, because the faster we get to 2,000, the faster Stormbreaker goes on. We'll actually do a video probably that day for the actual drawing, just to announce it. So that's awesome. I look forward to it. Again, Hawkeye, amazing series. Definitely jump in. It's leading to so much other stuff. And make sure that you click the like, turn your notifications on if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, hey, it's a good time. Click it, click it, click it, right? Click the subscribe button, turn your notifications to all, so this way anytime we drop a video, anytime we put out content, you're getting it. And make sure to leave a comment, man. Tell us how you feel. Tell us what you think. Is Kingpin going to show up in this series? That's a legitimate question. Is Kingpin the overall person in this? Power Broker still out there. We saw that from Falcon and Winter Soldier. Is she the one really calling shots, right? We don't really know. Is Madame Allegra Galora Fontaine, yada, 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 is she behind it? So who is behind this? Who is the head? We do know Uncle, though. Uncle typically goes with the male, right? My vote is Kingpin. But tell us your thoughts. Leave a comment below. Like and subscribe. Turn your notifications to all. And let's have some fun. Hall Prison Universe. Stay tuned for the giveaway. When we hit 2,000 subscribers, we're coming at you. And until next time, stay safe.